Hello, everyone, and welcome to the mid-draft analysis for the Cherish Ball Champions Division. My co-host Solanor here yet again. We talked about the first-round pick last time. We're going to talk about the middle of the draft this time. See how the teams are shaping up for this Series 9 Invitational Division. First of all, how are you doing, my good sir?
You know me, balling as usual. So I'm gonna take one big drink of lemon water. I know you guys see the goods here. Gonna. But yeah, just really excited. I'm glad we made so much progress in terms of our draft today. So
We made more progress than I thought we would because I had to pick again. I was like, I didn't prep this far. How dare you make me pick my Mons?
yeah, no, we made a lot of progress, and I'm really excited to talk about these teams because we have some interesting teams shaping up, and I have seen none of them actually.
Nice.
The only team I know is mine. So
Well, so we're doing this stream kind of middle of round 6 because people decided to start making picks. We were going to do this at the end of round 5. I thought we wouldn't get this far today, but we made it past that. So good job to all the people in the Cherish division for being on their game. And we got some pretty stacked teams to look at that are shaping
perfect.
up. So well, let's jump right into it. So we're
All
going to go
right.
in draft order picks, or pick order. So we have Luke F., who was the number 1 overall pick, who started off with Reggie Alecki, has really migrated this lineup with a Landers T, Indeedee Male, Tangrowth, and Gotharita.
Yep, those are certainly the Pokemon that are on Luke F's team. Um, it's got some okay picks here.
They're really good, like, standalone Mons so far. Like, maybe you
Yeah,
can say Indeedee Male you can get synergy with, and Tangrowth with the rare Sun, but everything here kind of fends for itself in a way. He's just got
yeah,
4 really solid standalone Mons and Gotharita, which I imagine he has ideas for with Shadow Tag as an ability, trapping things for Landorus so that he can safely use his attacks, or Regieleki so that they can't switch into a ground type. So I see enough
yeah.
reason there.
I think that Gotharita having Shadow Tag next to Mons that are as strong as Aleki and Lando is in theory pretty cool, but if you really think about it, it's not hard to find things that outspeed Lando T. And if you just like bring something that outspeeds Landorus and you just like hit it with a Geyser or Max Hailstorm, um,
Mm-hmm.
that's like typically pretty bad for it. And then Gotharita Aleki's a little more dangerous, but realistically, like Gotharita isn't all that like useful after that first turn where it fakes out, and then you know after that it's just about its ability to keep things locked in.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing that Gotharita can do of importance is threaten stuff with hypnosis, but you can't really hypnosis things when you've been clicking max lightning on the board. So it,
Yeah.
it's good, don't get me wrong, but Gotharita itself, I mean Gotharita and Gothitelle are just kind of um I don't know. They're not super great. They're more gimmicky than anything else. And I definitely feel like this team is going to need some more tools cuz right now I'm seeing like a pretty glaring ice weakness.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um
say about like you said about the geyser and the hailstorm. Nothing is switching into those at the moment,
right.
and Tangrowth isn't
Unless
your special defense tank as you
yeah.
would hope it
I
to
was,
be. So
I
that's
was
I
going to
think the
say
only
you're
thing
going to
I see is like you're not taking a max geyser or max hailstorm from anything, and if he could shore that up with his rest of his picks, I think that's a great direction for his team. Like he has good mons, but he needs to fill those glaring holes.
yeah, agreed.
But he's
And
only halfway through, so there's
I mean, yeah, that's kind of just where we are right now. Is like this is the halfway point. So it's like no team is going to be complete in any regards. And these are just like the things that I notice when I like first take a glance at the team. Obviously, there is a lot of power here. Um, just like fairly limited. Like you said, the Pokemon don't really work together so much as they are just good mons on their own. which is valuable if you are able to acquire some more things that make them feel more like a team, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And actually, it's funny. This is the first team I've seen that had a bug weakness. I usually see the other side, where teams have a massive resistance to bug. But bug's not too common. That's just something I picked up as kind of humorous.
It's funny.
But yeah, he's wheel picked, so he can fix these or fix those holes that we mentioned in like 3 seconds. So like he can grab something with massive special defense, like maybe if there's a dragon available, can really. Oh no, dragon doesn't help with the ice. I guess just a water type is what he wants. Yeah, I think just a bulky
dragon
water
is
he wants.
dragon is not really that available either, to be completely
No, dragons
honest.
have all been gone, which
Yeah.
has happened. So.
Yep.
But
Just
hey,
be
cool
spamming
team.
helping hand, alley switch. Yeah, those are moves that Gothorita can use, and I don't think that it makes it any more threatening than I have already stated. So, more annoying than anything, and annoying wins you games but doesn't win you sets is kind of like what I know about
Yeah,
it.
there's a tendency of passiveness from Gothorita. Like it doesn't really present like a proactive kind of board state. It's more of
Right.
like, hey, I'm here, I'm gonna disrupt and hope my ally can carry me. Which Lando can definitely do that. I think Landers has the
Yes.
capability of doing that role.
Agreed. Yeah, and I mean Gothorita, right? When it's not on the board with Aleki, it can, spam hypnosis. Hypnosis is like a real move that makes Gothorita a threat. So there is that as well. So nobody wants to get put to sleep like that. So yeah, cool team.
Let's move it on. Number 2 overall was Birmingham B Drills. And
Yep, that would be your mom on toast.
So he decided to take the best support core he could with Crobat, Liepard, and Clefairy, and then he's thrown in Magnezone to kind of balance out his physical damage from the Rillaboom. So now, one thing that was brought up was the presence of Rillaboom with Grassy Seed Magnezone working in prior formats, which is something he could definitely be looking at here. Liepard is an Unburdened Mon. I mean, it really doesn't need Unburdened, but it's just nice that it has it.
Yeah, versatility there for sure.
I think like if he picks up just straight heavy hitters from this point, he's got all the support he needs. I think he just has to go into the showdown search bar, hit attack or special attack, sort by highest. That's
right. No, I feel that, and yeah, I think that I really like a lot of these picks. There's like an extreme amount of value that's been picked here. Crobat is considered to be one of the best Tailwind setters, so you've got that. You've got Liepard being able to run Prankster most weeks, and then Unburden in the weeks where you have to fight Psychic Terrain. You got Friend Guard that can pair with basically every Dynamax Mon if needed. And I mean, Magnezone and Rillaboom are both really fucking strong Pokemon. So, I think
he's in the right direction. But
Agreed.
No more support. 3 is a lot.
Yeah, I think the only thing that concerns me is that while heavy hitters are like not impossible to acquire in the lower tiers, quality heavy hitters are typically pretty hard to find. So it concerns me a little bit that he's relying on C and D and E tiers to try to get some damage, but there is value in those tiers for sure, and I'm sure that they can acquire some. I also feel like they probably do want a Trick Room Mon, especially because Magnezone is a little more dangerous when it's Dynamaxed under Trick Room rather than when it's Dynamaxed under Tailwind. Yeah. But
you can still use it in Tailwind. It's just you have to invest speed, which you don't like doing. But...
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking. So, yeah, this team definitely still has a little bit of work to do, but it has some really solid foundational pieces. So off to a very, very good start.
Yeah, definitely. All right, number 3 was Hasugal and the bulky Ferrothorns. So he has... I'm actually kind of like trying to figure this out. So there's Togekiss Kartana as his A tiers, into Snorlax, Gengar, and Pikachu.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah, I
Yeah,
won't.
this is looking funky. But
Yeah, that's
if
what
I
I
know
think.
Hasugal, he's got plans.
Well, what I see is, there's like one inherent synergy that I see. I mean, you got the Snorlax with Belly Drum next to Togekiss, like that's not too bad. And I guess another one is like Pikachu next to Togekiss, but it just really feels like this team doesn't quite know. It doesn't quite have an identity quite yet. Like it feels a little awkward. And I'm not a huge fan of Kartana either, even in Dynamax formats. So, um, like the opening Firehead cutscene. Funny, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a little lost with this one. I won't front. This one is a little perplexing to me.
Yeah, I'm also like confused. I'm guessing Gengar is currently your Trick Room setter if you want Snorlax to be, if that's what your plan is.
Hmm.
I see a bunch of kind of mid, or not really a bunch of mid, but I guess Togekiss and Pikachu aren't the fastest things. Snorlax definitely isn't. Kartana and Gengar are up there in the speeds, so a little bit whack there for sure. But like one Trick Room setter turns his team a whole different direction. Uh, a Tailwind setter turns his team a whole different direction. So he
Yeah,
hasn't really
agreed.
revealed what he's doing with the rest, like the other half of his team yet.
Yeah, and
Like
I
he
mean,
still
there's still
has
like
at least
still.
two C tiers, which can change a lot of
Mhm.
this team.
Yeah, yeah, definitely some options left. Just right now, like team is really lacking an identity. Kind of a lack of bulk, kind of a lack of speed, kind of a lack of, um, kind of a lack of speed control. So it's just like Gengar relying on Gengar for like everything in terms of speed control. Like you relying on Icy Wind, and then relying on Trick Room. I guess there's definitely some work to be done with this team, but that's what the rest of the draft is for. So off to an interesting start. I will say my favorite mod on this team is probably Snorlax up to this point, though, because
Yeah,
Snorlax is
Snorlax is
just so
very impressive in Dynamax, especially with Gigantamax being its signature.
exactly. And you have a fast Will-O-Wisp mon too, so
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I think that weakness policy kiss. Yeah, it's funny with Sludge Wave Gengar. Definitely not bad, but
Powerful.
but
It's a
yeah, I
power
think
move.
that I think that this team is definitely, it's got pieces. It has some pieces I don't like. I don't think Pikachu's good, and I don't think Kartana is good, but maybe they can prove me wrong.
Well, we leave the second half and all the C tiers he's picking up to 3 to see what he does with it.
Right.
Number 4 was Junebug and the main red Clawhitzers. There we go. And I remember him being sad that Colossal got sniped because he has the Dragapult, but he's not short of heavy hitters. He's got the beef.
This is a strong team.
Yeah.
This is a very, very strong team. Um,
What I like
yeah,
most
I
about
like.
it though is like the first two picks, Dragapult and Volcarona, are super flexible. Super flexible. Volcarona can redirect for your Aromatisse. Dragapult can be the support mon for your Tricker mode, or you can just say, "I'm faster than you. I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah. No, I think there's a lot. There's a lot of good stuff here. I think Aromatisse is one of the more underrated Trick Room setters, and I think that you have on this team two of the most powerful um, Pokemon of their respective types under Trick Room. Like there is no better Trick Room Electric type than Pincurchin, just because it's so slow and Rising Voltage hits so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mudsdale is just fantastic as a max option. And I believe that there's like value there with Aromatisse as well, because one of the best ways to stop or slow down Mudsdale is to burn it. And Aromatisse has a 30% chance to like randomly heal Mudsdale if it ever gets burned, which I find kind
Yeah,
of humorous.
that's a nice little interaction that could come up.
Yeah,
Mudsdales typically get burned if they can. That's my
yeah,
strategy a lot of the
exactly.
time. So Dragapult also gets burned a lot. So Healer Aromatisse is kind of a sleeper.
Gonna pop off,
But no,
but
his team
yeah,
looks great.
yeah, and I like the beat up with stamina as well. I think that that's always a
Yeah.
fun strategy.
Or
Get
you can
yourself like
surf to do that and get a weakness policy boost while you're at it.
that too. Yeah, I think there's a lot to like. Not a whole lot of versatility here because with the first two picks maybe, but with the rest of them, they are mons that just like they have kind of a set job of what they do.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean that's not a bad thing. They're all threatening at their job and they're all pretty good value. So yeah, I like this team. I think my favorite mon on this team is probably that Aromatisse, just because it is such a consistently good trick room setter with
He
the
also
proper
still gets
support.
an A tier if he wants it. So if
Yeah,
he wants to go
indeed.
more into Trick Room, there are A tier Trick Room sweepers as well. So he can basically turn what we think is a great team into an even better one with
Exactly.
any of those A tiers. So he's off to a great start.
Yeah, completely agree.
All right, number 5 was Prince and the Midnight Ages. I wish this was in order. It usually is. Why is it not? There it is.
You can just type it in, can't you?
I can, but that's lazy. Anyway,
Okay.
so he has the Dracozolt, Milotic, Serena, Noivern, Turtonator. That's 3 dragon types.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a weird team. I'll just come right out and say it. I really like the first 4 picks, but Turtonator kind of loses me a little bit.
Like it
I
feels
mean,
like the first 4 picks look like they have a lot of synergy together because Noivern is going to be your key tailwinder. Serena says you can't fake me out. It's also a great partner with Milotic so that they can switch in for each other. And then
right.
Dracozolt's your max option that you're going to use a lot of the time. Turtonator is, I guess, your fire type to complete your fire, water, grass.
It's a pretty bad fire type, truth be told.
Yeah, other than its
Um,
defense, it doesn't do much else with its stats. I guess you're a special fire type and you're slow, but you're not a Trick Room team yet.
yeah, I mean, you have Iron Defense body press set with it, or you could just like run like Dynamax policy with it. But
Mm-hmm.
right now, there's like no way to max policy under Trick Room with it. Um, and I mean, without fake out of your own or redirection, um, it's kind of hard to say like how Turtonator, like what Turtonator's role on the team will be. But
Mm-hmm.
beyond that, I can look beyond that, and yeah, there's a very strong Dracozolt is incredibly strong, and Milotic accompanies it rather well. I think that this team will probably end up picking up a Sand Setter if they really want to get the most out of Dracozolt, just because it really likes being able to run Sand Rush
Mm-hmm.
with Sand support or Hustle with Tailwind support. So I think that to finish out this team, it probably is going to want a Sand Setter somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like Milotic and Dracozolt's inherent synergy. Just like Milotic keeps Dracozolt safe from um, intimidates, and it can also switch in on Dracozolt, and then Dracozolt can switch in on both of the move types that are super effective against Milotic as well. So yeah, lots to like about this team for sure.
Yeah, he's off to a great start as well. I don't know if the Turtonator suggests he's going to try to build a Trick Room variant of the team. He never used any free picks yet. And
Yeah.
that, I think, can be the difference from what we see now to the direction his team is going to go. Knowing him,
Mm-hmm.
he's probably going to take Trick Room because I've known him for a long time. But he also likes to flip the bird at people and say, well, you thought I was going to do this, but I'm not. So,
Right. Yeah, I think a T-Tar with that second A tier potential second A tier pick could be a good pick. I mean, you also have access to other things too. So
yeah, you can go for
just like yeah,
T-Tar, Gigalith. What else is... I think all the Sandsetters are still up.
exactly.
And I would
So
never pick
lots.
Gigalith ever, but...
Yeah, same here. But there's definitely lots of options, and like you said, having those free picks available is very strong. So yeah, I like where Prince's team is right now. Maybe make it a little bit better, but
That's what his free picks are for, and they'll change his team a lot.
exactly, I agree.
All
So
right. Number 6, my brother Slick Ninja and the Essential Dragonites, and he wants to click buttons.
this team certainly does that.
He is taking the hyper offense approach, and he is going to turn the gas on high.
Yeah, I
Cinderace
mean these
Togetic
are.
is a combination I've used in Series 9 to great success, so he inherently copies me.
Hmm,
But then Dracovish as kind of the secondary attacker is, it's really nice to have. Other than they're both physical, and I guess that's kind of what the rest of the team looks like. With Dragalge is kind of the big addition, the recent addition for a special attacker.
Actually think that this team has it's pretty well balanced in terms of being physical special. I mean, Faramosa can be either. It can be either physical or special, and I think that both sets are valid, especially if you're wanting to use it as offense over support.
Yeah, Mosa is so good on this team, I think.
Yeah,
because it's your speed control you need. It can also coach your two best attackers.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, and I think that Dragalge is one of the most dangerous Pokemon. Just so strong. Adaptability, maxed worm wins are insane.
Could you imagine if this was Water Dragon? Like Skrelp?
Yeah, it'd be broken.
This would be busted if it was like Skrelp as a Water Dragon. Or no, Skrelp's not Dragon. Skrelp is Water Poison. Sorry. If this thing was Water Dragon, it would be so good. But
it would be very good.
Poison is a nice nerf to it.
But other than that, I like Faramosa and I like Cinderace. Those are two pretty strong mons. I'm never quite sold on Dracovish in draft, but I mean, there's a lot of power just coming out the back with your choice scarf and saying, well, now I'm here and I'm faster than your mons because I have the choice scarf and you are going to perish.
Oh, you don't resist water?
Exactly. So yeah, I think this team is definitely decent. Not a lot of support. I think that Togetic is going to be forced to work a little overtime here. At this point, there's no fake out support. There's no real speed control besides just Faramosa. And I think that a little bit more support could be helpful for a team like this. But yeah, I think that as of right now, it's got a lot of damage. So would like to see a little bit more speed control, maybe a Trick Room setter somewhere.
And a bulky water killer.
Yeah, true.
He ain't touching bulky water.
Max Lightning off of Cinderace is not cutting it.
No. But he does that. He's set up for success. So.
Agreed.
Number 7, Toronto Staraptors. He basically said, I hate ground type moves. And he has not 1, not 2, but 3 immunities to ground. That is commitment.
Yeah, ground is one of the best types in Dynamax formats. Max Quack is one of the best Dynamax moves. So, yeah, I don't know. This team has some stuff. I really like the fact that they got a quad resist for electric on a team that has 2 mons that are very vulnerable to electric type attacks. Not really sure what Porygon's role on this team is anymore. It looks like they decided to take the route of not really drafting a Trick Room team and just they kind of just have like a conglomeration of good mons and yeah, like here it is.
Yeah,
also,
Rapidash are all comfort picks for him.
Rapidash's type is not correct either, by the way.
But the type chart is correct. Just pretend the fire is a psychic, but look at the type chart is still correct.
Yeah.
If it was Fire Fairy, that'd be awesome. But
it would be. It would have. It's what it should have been, to be completely honest. But
they messed up.
Yeah, for real. Other than that, I mean, Moltres is not. I've never really seen it do all that well, so I'm curious to see like how it's going to fit into this team. I think that Gyarados is one of the most dangerous draft mons, and I'm pretty. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they have the only drafted E tier at this point with Rapidash G.
I think I saw a Carbink at one point. So and Ice Table was drafted, so he is actually not. Well, he's the first one to get one, I think, but he's not the only one that has one yet. And Rapidash Galar, I think, is one of the better E tiers, the more playable ones.
Agree.
So yeah, he went after that early. He has all his free picks still, so he can still get an A tier, or he can get more Bs depending on how he wants to build this around. I want him to kind of put more into the Trick Room stuff because I think P2 with Trick Room stuff is always good. But he's going kind of that middle of the road where he can go either direction, which is also a solid idea.
Yeah, I think that he's got himself a solid batch of Mons, and again, it's kind of like with one of the other teams we looked at. I can't quite remember, but it's just like it's a collection of good Mons. It's not quite a team yet. It is more just a good patch of Mons, basically.
Yeah, I agree. It's again, he gets defined after what three more picks. I would say his team gets way more basically defined, and then the last two are filler. Yep. Or not filler, but like to round it out.
Yeah, exactly. Could easily activate TR mode with Glastrier. Yeah, that's a good mon.
You can definitely do. Yeah. All right.
Moltres is not good. I refuse to believe that Moltres is good.
Number 8 was Celesteela person. Where are you at?
Would be Ossifrey.
Yeah, it is right.
Hogging
Porygons, who took Pelipper right before I was going to take it, and I'm sad.
Yep. Well, Pelipper, they began the process of building Celesteela. You got Celesteela, and you've got Rain.
And you took an electric type from other people.
You've got Trick Room, but yeah, the Coco pick is definitely a little interesting. I guess at the very least it provides fast screens and good speed control. Tapu Koko on its own is a very good Pokemon. Just has a little what I consider to be anti-synergy with the Celesteela, which is the top pick, but huge fan of that rain mode as well. I think that Seismitoad and Pelipper is one of the best rain modes.
This just in draft pick that got updated literally as we were talking. That is awesome.
That's insane.
I think Bardo's the one who's doing it.
Yeah.
Props
Shout out
to Bardo. That was awesome. So we have the pick is in. And
quite literally.
They've selected Scraggy right before our eyes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Scraggy is the GOAT. That's an excellent.
We can be sad because that was an E tier I was looking at.
And
it's useful.
Here.
It's a really good E tier because it's like bulky with the Eviolite. It's got Fake Out, Intimidate, and Snarl coaching. It's got everything you need it to do.
Yeah, I think Scraggy is an amazing pick. So good job. Good job, Frey. That's a good pick. Lurantis solos.
Oh, please pick Lurantis and fight him. That would be great.
Hey, easy. But I really like the Reuniclus pick as well. It's like very underrated as a Trick Room setter. Very bulky, pretty strong. Okay coverage. Not the best, not the worst, but yeah, there's just a lot to like about this team. This team has some good modes, and it's good that they got a ground type, but I definitely want to see some more things that like tie the team together, because right now it's just like, again, it's like a batch of good mons, and it's like there is a rain mode here, but other than that,
it's like Protect the King, and Celesteela is the king as well.
And that's just like how Celesteela teams are typically built. So Celesteela needs a little bit more help, I think.
Yeah, and Scraggy, I think, is going to be a nice little support mon to round it out.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, good team so far.
To say.
Yeah.
Yeah, decent.
All right, who was 9? The Gengar people. Spine Chilling Gengar. And actually, I get to see what his pick was because he just picked. So he recently added Articuno Galar to this mix. And he sort of has starting to build both ways with Comfey Garchomp as your kind of, and Suicune as the faster part. I guess Articuno can Airstream too. But then he's going to build with Trick Room with Dusknoir and Vikavolt. So very interesting approach he's taken. Yeah,
I think that there's a lot of policies to be procced here, and by a lot I mean 2. But you've got potentially weakness policy Garchomp with Draining Kiss, weakness policy, Suicune with Giga Drain. I don't know. I think this team is all right. It has a bunch of really bulky Pokemon. I can appreciate that.
Look at the average special defense and defense so far.
Yeah,
that's
very
pretty insane.
Yeah, and it gets helped out by Dusknoir a little bit, but I mean, there's a lot of bulk on this team, and the good thing is they're not trading away too much in terms of like bulk for power. That's typically a thing that you see sometimes is like a team will be really bulky and then not have enough power. This is not a problem for this team. I mean, it has good physical attackers with Dusk Noir and Garchomp, and good special attacker in the form of Vikavolt. Articuno itself is okay as well. I think it's better in Dynamax format, but Comfey gets Absorb. You're actually wrong about that Adrenaline. Funny enough, it only gets Giga Drain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that there is good power. I think that there's not a lot of support on the team. Like there's not a lot of utility, rather. Or wait, no, I'm wrong. There's not a lot of support. There is a lot of utility. So like Comfey has good utility. Suicune has utility with Icy Wind and like Tailwind and Snarl and such. But there's no like good fake out mons. There's no good like redirection on this team, and I mean no screens. Like I think that the team could definitely use something like that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I definitely see that. Suicune, I think, is what I'm most afraid of with a weakness policy. It's already like it's so bulky already, and then it has 90 special attacks. So like weakness policy is actually doing more damage than you would like it to as an opponent.
Yes, super viable item on Suicune in my opinion. And I mean stab geysers are no joke, and I mean it gets airstream as well. So
yeah, that's really solid. Yeah, so yeah, I'm liking how he's built this so far. I didn't think of it the way you did about the support versus utility, but I see it perfectly plain as day. One fake out mon makes this team miles and leaps and bounds better. Like
agreed.
It just adds such a whole new dynamic to it.
There's good fake out mons to pick up too. So I mean, definitely doable. I would also like to see another mon on the team with like a heightened speed tier to maybe put some pressure on the opponents with a high speed tier to kind of force speed creeping a little bit. Because Garchomp is like decently fast, but it's not like base 115 fast,
Yeah, definitely. His speeds kind of feel clumped together, I would say.
A little bit, but I mean, still really, really solid start. So,
and yeah, he's going with the bulk approach, which is a very good approach.
Agreed.
I like seeing all that bulk.
Chomp trash. I just completely disagree with you, Junebug. Garchomp is very good.
Now we have my team.
Yeah, so the Metro Metagross.
I'll throw the torch at you.
Yeah. Well, this team is good. That's it. That's all I have to say. Solid team. No, I think that there's some good. It's very fast so far. As of right now, you've got some speed-defining threats with Salazzle and Spectrier getting those pretty high speed tiers. Obviously, there's like the Bulldoze, Metagross stuff you was talking about earlier with the last like match, or with the last stream that we did. You said like getting fast Bulldoze was a priority, and I think you did a good job of acquiring the best fast Bulldoze. And then I think there's a couple picks I'm a little questionable on. I've never seen Swampert do particularly well, but it's on paper a pretty good mon, and I kind of have the same feelings about Tapu Bulu. I don't think Tapu Bulu is great, but the grassy terrain support is very nice for a lot of the members of this team. Including Mandibuzz, who typically likes to, run a grassy seed and become kind of bulky. So yeah, there's a lot to like about this squad. I think that it's got good speed control from Mandibuzz getting, not super fast, but good tailwind. A good bulky tailwind is really nice. Other than that, I think it's a good team. And I mean, you look at Spectrier and Metagross and think Metagross is going to Dynamax, but you could get fucked up by Dynamax Spectrier instead. It's just like, honestly,
you want to pick your poison there.
Exactly. You have to. There's a lot to manage there. So, love the A tier picks, and the rest of the team is like pretty good too. So
the thing that I like the most about my team is the type synergy a lot of my mons have. So, like, Mandibuzz was a mon that a lot of people were questioning in B tier or whatever. But Mandibuzz and Metagross and Spectrier, for that matter, pair so nicely together. as kind of like a defensive core in that regard for switches. Swampert and Tapu Bulu really aid with that as well, switching into different attacks that need them to. Swampert's actually going to have to pull a lot of weight for the fire types, and then Salazzle, the great utility of a fire type. Fire types go quick. So
yeah, fire types are pretty hard to come by, so Salazzle's a really good budget one. Very strong, very focus sashable, so
yeah, and then the Swampert's huge grass weakness gets resisted by Mandibuzz yet again.
Yeah.
So Mandibuzz is actually really important to this team as well, even though people, I guess, thought it doesn't deserve B. I think it definitely does for what it can do, and even on this team, it looks a lot better.
Yeah, I like this team. Personally, I'm a big fan. So yeah, good team, good job.
Thank you.
So far.
Right, let's move it along. Who was after me? Dale?
I don't know. You have the list.
It was. The Washington waifus who stole the Tapu Fini. My beloved Tapu Fini.
This team has very good Disquake.
Oh, yes. I take it he wanted that. He's copying off of JP with Drifblim and Tapu Fini. Very unoriginal. Mamoswine, Durant is your physical attackers who can do tons of damage. Fini and Zapdos is your special attack damage. And Togepi and Drifblim as support. This already looks like a very well-built team.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, Fini is, like we said, it's a good mon, and he went a very interesting way to go around building his team. I really love Zapdos. Zapdos is an awesome Dynamax Pokemon. Very bulky with its typing and decent stats, and then decent speed and very strong max airstream. Mamoswine is also very good. I was joking about the Disquake because this is a Dynamax format, and that's not actually that viable, but it's still okay. And yeah, Mamoswine is just like, it's really fucking strong. Good max option too. Durant, I'm not as sold on. I think that Durant's gonna have to do something, because I think that I'm not quite sold on it personally.
It's really that middle ability on the screen. It's hustle.
I'm aware.
That's all it's going to be is hustle. If he wants to do the entrainment Truant stuff, sure. But it's really, if he brings Durant, it's maxing. I think that's a very easy thing to point out, because otherwise you're going to miss your attacks, or threaten to miss, I would say. Risk chance of missing. And it does do gigantic damage because of hustle and having 109 attack. It's got one of the strongest max steel spikes in the game.
Yeah.
And if he can wall off the fire types, which he currently is slightly not prepared for, because Fini isn't really going to put a lot of offensive pressure on fire types, and Mamoswine is kind of neutral against them. So if he does, if he kind of shores up his fire types matchups a little bit, I think Durant can be a much better mon. I think he's out of points to be able to get Chandelure, but Chandelure I think could be a really good addition as far as, you can't get Chandelure because he's used to AA. But as a Flash Fire mon, or I guess there is a Flash Fire mon in C tier that he could get, but just something that you can threaten a switch, so that if they're going to use a fire type attack into your Durant or your Mamoswine, you can eat it up with ease. So Fini can do that to an extent, but you can really punish them with the other additional fire type, which he probably wants.
Yeah, I think that just something would be helpful. I'm also not quite concerned. I'm a little concerned. I know you said that Drifblim Fini is a proven archetype, but to me, one of Drifblim's greatest assets as an unburdened mon is extremely fast Will-O-Wisp. And I think that Fini also keeping that as not an option for Dale, with the Misty Surge. I think that Misty Surge is one of the more questionable ones to pair with Drifblim, just because you take away its ability to do that. I mean, it can do everything else that Drifblim does: Tailwind, Strength, Sap, whatnot. But I think that Will-O-Wisp not being able to burn with Feeney's terrain is a little bit
You
concerning.
still get strength sap, but
Yeah, and
it's a
that
nice
move is
consolation,
fine.
I guess.
Yeah, that move is fine too, but I like the Togepi on the pick as well. I think Togepi is always just a fantastic low tier redirector, and a lot of the mons on this team could definitely use a little redirection help. So, yeah, overall, I think this team is okay. Leaning a little bit on the fast side, so maybe slowing it down a little bit, getting a couple of resists. So, weakness policy Blim, yeah, with Ice Shard Mammoth that'll do like 40 to it. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But
no,
yeah,
very cool
okay, team.
I like it. Who is after him?
Don't know. Don't have it up.
I'm checking real quick because I don't remember and I should.
Then are you gonna make me pull it up?
No, I have it pulled up right here.
That's calm. I got it.
Quick. I quickly forgot about him. Sorry, I was kind of in a rush to make that joke. Oh shit, that's
mid memo is hilarious.
Dallas Duraludons. There we go. Quick. He has Entei, Primarina, Sableye, Bronzong, Delmise, and Shedinja.
Yeah, triple ghost type. Funny. Although it doesn't show up on Shedinjas for some reason.
God dang it. Garden.
It's fine. We all know Shedinja's a ghost type, so and it still shows up as well, so yeah.
Just a visual bug there.
Little bit of a dark weakness going on here, I will say. Dark / ghost. So that's like the first thing I noticed, and it kind of needs to be
3 of them.
Yeah, needs to be shored up a little bit. But like otherwise, I think that this team's got some stuff. Shedinja is one of the most corny Pokemon. I'm not sure how well it fits here, but I think that those style of moves, like with Shedinja, what value it brings is that it forces your opponents to bring unoptimal moves versus you. But against a team like this, like dark moves and ghost moves, and even to an extent flying moves, are all really good options. So, like Shedinja's not really conditioning anything. That's extremely helpful. I will say,
funny that all that you said about the dark and the ghost weakness, those same mons all share a fire weakness too.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
I just noticed that. I was like, wait, they all are weak to fire too. So Shedinja gets a lot of value whenever it kind of doesn't have as share weaknesses with your team, and it has so much overlap in weaknesses with Bronzong and Delmise that it has a lot of question marks for that reason.
Yeah, and I mean, on the contrary though, Entei and Primarina both really appreciate having it around. So like Primarina, Shedinja don't get hit by Ooze, it don't get hit by Electric, doesn't get hit by what's the other one? Grass. So I mean Shedinja's nice for that, and Entei appreciates having a switch out for Max Geyser and Max Quack, but yeah, I mean, there's stuff to like about this team. Sableye is obnoxious. That Pokemon is really annoying.
Does it say that's on your most hated personal
It's
list?
it's on my top 5. Yeah, for sure. Sableye's in my top 5. Really, really strong Trick Room stuff going on here. I think that Primarina and Bronzong and Delmise, Sableye even to an extent, make for a fantastic Trick Room core. Did you just call me a bitch? It looks like it. But yeah, I mean, I would really like to see if Hard Trick Room is the way to go, which I know Quick really loves Hard Trick Room. Then I think maybe acquiring a little bit more support for your Trick Room is a good idea. And if you don't want to go Hard Trick Room, then maybe get a little bit of support for that Entei. So, yeah, other than that, like it's a cool team. These are all Sans Sableye. These are all very based Pokemon. So
yeah, I think he's off to a great start. He used a little bit of his free points so far, So, I mean, most of his team, I guess, is defined at this point. He's going into the Trick Room side of it a little heavier. And then Entei is, your kind of cleanup mon. And, yeah, I think he's got a great foundation here.
Agreed. I just don't like Shedinja. That's it.
All right, Mr. Pro Horse. Now this is the story of sadness.
Yeah.
So there's a Charizard, but he didn't get Venusaur or Torkoal. There's a Terrakion, but he missed out on Sneasel. Oh.
Yeah. There's a Clefable that was supposed to be a Clefairy, and there is a Salamence.
Yeah.
There was a Salamence that was supposed to be a that was supposed to be one of the Lotties or a Naganadel. So this is just like,
it was funny that they literally all went like in a row, which was like right after him. It was like Latios, Latias, Naganadel all went, and then he was like, "Oh, okay, I guess Salamence is my dragon type."
Yeah, and I mean, this team is fine. It opted to go for a little bit mid-heavy with Clefable being the only A tier, and then just opting for a bunch of B tiers. I think that these are a fine batch of B tiers, though. Realistically, this Charizard is still very strong right off rip, and especially with Ninetales, very good. I like Togedemaru on the team as well. Lightning Rod is, a good ability, and Sturdy is a good ability. Yeah, and then having Fake Out Nuzzle is nice.
And he pointed this out as well at some point. Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Mence is a very dangerous Dynamax threat too, so, yeah, go ahead. That was it.
So, like, as far as building out the rest of the team, so because he has Sun, he has access to so many cheap Chlorophyll grass types. And there is a few cheap beat-up mons that he can still pair with Terrakion. So, like, I think he's recovered well from the sad story that is this draft for him.
Yeah.
Like, he's bounced back well with the Clefable and the Salamence picks. I think those were both really good. And then Togedemaru was part of the plan all along. And he still can get pieces from the cheaper tiers. So,
for sure,
it's not out of the woods yet for him. He can still do
it. I mean, I actually think that for what this team was supposed to be, it's a good team, given like what he's got left. But yeah, I really I like this team. I think that it's off to a good start. It feels very fast, but doesn't quite have speed control.
That is funny. It does feel fast, but the fastest thing is 108.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you have a whole lot of Pokemon at the exact same speed tier with base 100, which is quite humorous. But yeah, I think that maybe some speed control, maybe something to keep Trick Room away, because Trick Room looks like it would feast against this team a little bit. Definitely some necessary tools that need to be picked up, but I think that with his remaining picks, Pro Horse can really round his team out. So
I'm rooting for him. The nice comeback story of a draft.
Yeah. I'm not rooting for him because he's a bum, but
we have to have a talk here about this next team.
Yeah.
There's a mon smack dab in the middle of the screen that's going to cause so much discussion.
Yeah, someone took the colossal bait.
Colossal bait.
That's what it is. Colossal realistically is like such a weird Pokemon, but I think that you've got it. I think that you've got some stuff here. Thundurus is fantastic. Grimmsnarl is fantastic. I really like both of those picks. And then Inteleon is an interesting choice. It has Aqua Jet and it technically has Surf, although Surf is going to do a shit ton of damage to Colossal off of Inteleon. So realistically, maybe finding like another Surfmon would be helpful for Colossal, but Inteleon theoretically could do it. Colossal in and of itself is, someone was gonna do it, right? Like someone was going to pick Colossal.
Like that's the focal point of the damage on this team, because like if you go after offensive Thundy, what do you have in the back left for damage? Not a whole lot. Grimmsnarl and
Yeah.
Scrafty are not going to be your heavy hitters. Berserker needs a lot of help. Inteleon can do it to an extent, but it's also extremely frail.
Yeah.
I think Colossal's carrying the damage load so far.
I kind of agree. I mean, Thundy is like one of the best max options. So definitely fine there. And I mean, Grimmsnarl is theoretically a Dynamax option with 120 base physical attack. I think Berserker kind of sucks personally, but
Yeah, that one
you
I'm
know,
a
I've been
little scratch head on for
I,
Berserker.
I've been wrong before. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think that if there's gonna be a team with Scrafty on it, this is the one because Colossal just like dissuades fairies so much, but otherwise like you know, Scrafty is okay. This team is just full of a bunch of mons that I'm like all right with, except for Berserker. I think Berserker sucks, but
yeah, that one I'm still confused on why he got. But
yeah,
no,
it'd be
he's got an interesting draft. But Grimmsnarl Thundurus is a very strong combination we've learned from previous series, and somewhat of Series 12. It's even still good. So
yeah, for sure. I like it a lot. Otherwise, like very interesting draft, and yeah, like I said, Colossal got taken, so we'll see if it's able to be more than just bait, and if it's actually able to put in work this season.
Yeah, definitely. All right, where is we have to put this person on trial for what they've done. Where is he? He's at the top.
Oh, y'all sleep. Don't disrespect the metal cap, bruh. Lucian, you know I respect you as a player, but I think that Berserker is fucking garbage, and I stand by that. Oh, this team.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
well, the reason you're all on trial is because Urshifu single and Meowstic is a combo that Odie has used for basically any chance he gets, and then Xurkitree has added to that trio. For some reason, he wins with these, and he has them again.
Yeah. No, I think that right off rip, he's got fantastic support with Meowstic and just insane damage with Xurkitree. Like, but those last three picks, man, a little bit
Feel real
suspect.
weird. Maybe
Yeah,
he's trying to disguise what he's doing, or maybe he's trying to test the waters as far as what he can get at the end. Like,
yeah,
I guess he wants to lean towards a more Trick Room stuff with Cop, Vaporeon, and Carbink. Vaporeon is much better than I think a lot of people realize.
I actually think Vaporeon is overrated as a budget bulky water, honestly. Like, I think that it does do its job as a D tier bulky water type, but like it never quite feels bulky enough. So it's definitely interesting. I personally have not seen it used well up to this point, but again, I've been proven wrong before, so I like Copper with Meowstic though. I think that giving it prankster screens is like one of the things that Copper really fucking needs.
Yeah, and it has the HP to do it, and actually I didn't realize at all this whole generation it has 69 defense and 69 special defense.
Yeah.
That is a nice stat line.
It's very funny. Good job, Game Freak.
Oh god, I know exactly what OC Frey is getting at. Oh no, don't trigger those. Flat.
Yeah, but otherwise, like I said, I really like the first three picks, and I think the second three picks are a little bit questionable. But hey, I'm not one to question this coach's drafting decisions because obviously lots of success.
To me is he still has his upper tier picks to select. He still has one more guaranteed B, and then he can go he has all his free points. So he literally is not showing what he's doing other than Urshifu Meowstic. Everything else is just mons that he likes.
Yeah.
So
very true.
So I think he's one that we don't have much information on because all we see is Urshifu Meowstic, Xurkitree, mons he's used before, and then we see Cobb, Vaporeon, and Carbink, which we all question. But he can still make like choose the defining pieces with his last 4 picks.
Yeah, very true. I think there's a lot of building to be left with this team. Lots of mons that he needs to get to fill in some of those type cores, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I have little more to say about this team.
All right, next up we have Miss Lady Lilac, the stall queen she is. What was her team name? Vancouver something? No, she's Bell Tower Ravens. That's right.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, the better team name. And
Agree.
I have one gigantic concern, but I'll let you talk first before I state such thing if you see the same thing I see.
Probably not, but yeah, there's a lot to like here. I think that she's done a good job of, I think Urshifu was the first pick, but to be honest, I think that Gudra became the primary focus of the team as soon as she picked it. Arcanine Intimidate helps out with its mid speed physical defense. Klefki helps out with the bulk, with screens and annoying stuff. Roserade, it
Everyone knows what Roserade Gudra does.
It definitely clicks Petal Blizzard and gives it Sap Sipper, and I mean you even have like Ice Shard with Sneasel. There's good stuff on this team. Not a very good form of speed control for a team that's trying to be as fast as this one is.
Mm-hmm. Well,
just like
so the big
you have
thing that I thought or I noticed right away is your Dynamax threat needs help. There is no standalone Dynamax threat on this team that you can just max. Like Gudra and Arcanine need setup. Urshifu does less damage when it maxes. Roserade can max, but is not really. Well, I guess that is your max then, as far as standalone good, and then Keys and Sneasel don't. So I see that as kind of my big concern. And
agree.
She's already used a lot of her points.
Yeah, definitely going to have to maybe get a lower tier Dynamax threat. Because, Gudra just doesn't really deal the damage without policy or coaching or just like some sort of setup. And then Arcanine is an okay max option, but it gets way better when you have the beat up on it, which she does have beat up, but it takes a turn to get that
and
going.
And also if you have another more threatening Dynamax.
Yeah.
Which this team currently doesn't have, and the best she can get is another C tier as the highest thing. So
right.
That's my big concern.
Gudra sets itself up. I mean, yeah, you're forced to use Dynamax moves to make that happen, but personally I think that this team is like good. I think it's fine. It has a lot of important types picked up. Which is obviously like a pretty good start, but yeah, just very interested to see how she's able to go about some of these issues, because it's not quite slow, it's not quite fast, it doesn't have good Trick Room, it doesn't have good Tailwind, it doesn't have super great speed control, but it does have a bunch of like mid-speed tier, very flexible speeds, and just like very flexible mons. I mean, Gudra's physical or special. Sneasel could run any sort of support moves, and same with Klefki, and then 2 versions of Arcanine to worry about. But yeah, very interesting team.
Yeah, it's very interesting team with Urshifu Rapid Strike to clean up.
Yeah,
I mean it's not that bad. Like Arcanine Intimidate, like helping Gudra's defense goes like leaps and bounds. Helping Gudra's defense helps a lot.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, maybe Gudra's going to be the next unkillable beast that Lilac procures.
Fuck, maybe.
At least she didn't get Corviknight. That's all we can be thankful for.
Very true. Or Sylveon. She
caused a lot of pain to people in recent events, aka last night, aka this morning. Or not this morning, but recently.
This afternoon.
Yeah. All right. Next up.
Is next my team?
That's my your team, isn't it? So, what a bunch of bad mons.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked at my team yet. Like I haven't like taken a look at my team since the draft has begun. So this is actually kind of cool. Whose logo? My logo? Lilac's logo is sick. I hope you're not talking about mine. Mine's alright, but um, yeah, this is a team. I don't really feel like talking about it, so
So I'll do it.
I'll let Spades talk about it.
Indeedee female plus a thing that sets Trick Room. Man, it's like we're playing Series 1 all over again. No, I like this. I like this quite a bit. Thievel is a mon that you've championed and basically is going to be your pet. If you ever get a pet fox, you know what to name it. I like that the Arachnid is kind of a Trick Room sweeper that you kind of built into. Heatran plus Zapdos. Zapdos can switch into the ground attacks, so can Arachnid. So very good synergy for the Heatran so far. And like I said before, good fire types are hard to get. And Heatran is definitely one of those fire types. Zapdos Galar is the mon I've a big, not so much of a question mark, but I just don't know the potential of it yet. I haven't seen it used too much. But if you kind of build more into your opponents want to intimidate you, then you have a Defiant mon that says, nope, you cannot do that. It can also set up next to Indeedee and then Airstream to death. So... And then we all know what the Thievel does by now, I hope. So
yeah.
I like it so far.
Does Chad know that Arachnid can't Z Liquidation? I actually didn't play past formats of competitive Mons, so I don't know what that means. All I know is that Arachnid with Water Bubble is broken. Yeah, this is certainly one of the teams I've drafted, and it definitely has 6 Mons. Already picked on it up to this point. Some of those mons have multiple types, and one of them only has one type. And yeah, there's a couple of mons that can do different things, and you got some physical attackers and some special attackers. So overall, I certainly think that this is a team that has been built, and yeah.
I like Runerigus as the a ground type for your Arachnid and Zapdos instead of Cofagrigus. I think that was a much better pick for you in that regard.
I appreciate that.
But yes, you could even give it Water Absorb from Arachnid. That's spicy.
Why would I do that?
Why not?
Runerigus doesn't get any water type moves.
No, you can give it Water Absorb. And then they can't.
I can give Rune Water Absorb. I thought you said Water Bubble. I was like, wait, what?
well, you can do that too, but it's not that good. But no, I like this team a lot. You have a C tier if you want it, or 2 Ds to kind of round it out. Actually, you have a C guaranteed anyway, so you can build more into that. I don't know if you're gonna go faster, or you're gonna go slower. Currently, your fast mode is just Max Airstream, so.
It's a pretty good fast mode, IMO.
And then your slow mode, you have a really good setter, you have a really good sweeper. It just needs just something in the back for a little extra punch is all I see.
For sure. Yeah, I definitely have some more picks that I'm looking at. And when it comes my turn to start picking Pokemon again, I will pick them. That's all I have.
I don't know why it does that.
Right. I don't really want to talk about my team too awful much because I have reason.
You know what you're gonna do with it. That's why.
Yeah, like I have bullshit prepared for this team, and yeah, I don't really want to talk about it too much.
Let's talk about the Mid-Atlantic Gallades, shall we?
Yeah, we can do that.
And we immediately see. Well, I immediately see one thing he definitely wants to find.
A Trick Room setter?
I think he wants a Trick Room setter based on how this looks.
That's what I see, yeah. Some very slow mons, very fast mon, and Halucha, and Crocodile's the GOAT, very good Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think...
is there.
Yeah, Escav is also there.
Marowak Alola does more damage than a lot of people think.
That thing is broken. Marowak Alola is broken. Super good Pokemon.
The only thing I can really say is he wants a Trick Room setter. Like, everything else I think I like a lot about this team. Hawlucha being your fast mode, like coaching for your Crocodile, your Marowak is awesome. Or your Lapras for that matter. And also just being an attacker is great. Plus Amoonguss, you can Swords Dance and start airstreaming. Lapras can actually set up Hawlucha with Ice Shard. Probably did not want me to say that, but people
probably not.
It out. So I think he's one Shurker setter away from this team being a real contender, and he already probably.
Chad saying Alolan is broken. So here's the thing, Lilac. I'll go into this real quick because you've brought this to my attention and you're trying to call me out for a form of hypocrisy that I feel that I do not really deserve in any way. When I called Alolan garbage, I was referring to the fact that Alolan is garbage in non-Dynamax formats because Alolan really likes to use Dynamax moves, whereas this is a Dynamax format, and that means that Alolan can do what it does best, which is click max moves with the thick club. So, yes, Lilac, I do change my stance on Marowak because of the different circumstances in which the mana is being used because of the different formats.
And also the sneaky lightning rod for the Lapras and Hawlucha.
True. I actually don't think Marowak is that good as a lightning rod mon.
No, but you drafted for the really strong fire type and ghost type. But yeah, I think you'll take that consolation prize.
Yeah, that's the consolation prize.
It's like, yeah, I get this thing and it has lightning rod.
Alolan not garbage in non-max formats either, though. Yeah, you see, I still just disagree. I don't think it's very good. But anyway, yeah, super good in this format, though. Yeah, this team just needs, maybe a fake out support somewhere, and maybe a TR setter.
And everything. He has everything I'd want. A Trick Room Sweeper. He's got a Redirector that can also Spore and Disrupt. And he's got a fast mode that he can flip a switch on. And then Crocodile for Intimidate. I like it a lot.
I think that there is certainly a team here. And yeah, just like get those last couple pieces, get that support in, and then you're golden. So yeah, good job, Verte. Like this team.
Oh god, now we talk about Lucian.
So this is a team, very fast team.
Yeah,
I like
he really wants to go fast, doesn't he? His average speed is 97, which is very, very fast. Especially when you have a 64 and a 70 and an 80.
Agreed. Yeah, Whimsy Cobalion, while it's like not super good, it is like it's threatening. It's threatening in a way that really forces prep, because if you fuck up and lead poorly against Whimsy Cobalion, then you lose to it. You get beat up and then you get airstreamed and then you lose the game. Yeah. There's good support on the team too. I like Alcremie. Very good mon, good at, giving things decorate. And it also has a very funny G-Max, which I hope Lucian will use at some point.
That would be so cool.
Dragonite is the big one here. I really, really like Dragonite. And the fact that I don't want to get into it. I got so aggressive with you all last time about Dragonite.
I have one really glaring issue with this team. And that is you are not resisting Max Airstream at all.
Or Max Ice. Or not sorry, Max Max. But... I meant to say Max Fairy, yeah.
Yeah, so like if you can get your Tailwind up, but your opponent's just gonna Max Airstream you 3 times. At least that's an approach that a lot of teams can take against you because you don't have a resist for it. So and your Steel type, one of the big drawbacks to Cobalion is you lose a lot of your defensive capabilities as a Steel type. Your Steel type doesn't resist Fairy. So your Dragonite is even more at risk from Fairy types.
Yeah, it's vulnerable.
And you don't resist Max Airstream, which doesn't help your other fighting type or your grass type. And now your bug type. So your type, I don't like the type synergy here.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, probably thinking Cobalion can dissuade ice types from coming against Dragonite, but realistically, Ice is not a very good type in general. So like Dragonite's not typically worried about ice type stab just because ice is not a good type of Pokemon to bring.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely a little bit of room for concern there, but I think that there's still some more picks to be made. Still lots of draft resources left. You could get another A tier or a couple of B tiers as well. So
Mm-hmm.
plenty of resources still left to make some picks. And this is just very much a Lucian team. Like lots of gimmicks, lots of good maxes here, or at least like 2 really good maxes here.
Mm-hmm.
And just like a lot of mons who can really be cheesy. So
Yeah.
yeah, in general, like I think that this team is like pretty decent. Gets a little fucked on by Trick Room, so I want to be a little careful on that. But yeah, plenty of resources left to pick with. So Lucian's that guy, so he's definitely got some more stuff planned, I'm sure of it.
All right, Mr. JP Koala himself. I guess he's not Koala anymore. He's just JP. And his Slateport Slat Kings, and he's got the Gigas, but he hasn't picked Weezing yet.
Well, the thing I noticed is that, you know, Latios got picked for a very specific reason, and Latios is one of the few mons in this format that gets the move Simple Beam. Simple Beam is a very good move in the sense that it can turn your ability from whatever your ability is to the ability Simple. That's very good and all. It's not super consistent. Way less consistent than Gigas Weezing is, but you know, I don't think I think only maybe one of the Weezings, if any, have been picked, and Coughing hasn't been picked. So, you know, definitely some options there. Yeah, JP has definitely been the snipe king of the tournament, though, because Blastoise was one that a lot of people had on their radar. Latios was one. Tangela was one for a couple people, and I know for myself the Blacephalon pick was a little bit of a snipe too. So and the ice table I know was a snipe for multiple people. So
people won
like
the table.
so yeah, JP has definitely been doing a fantastic job of taking picks that other people really want.
He's doing a very good job at it. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that you know he's got a lot of strong stuff on his squad. You know, very powerful Fire, Water, Grass core. I'm not sure I love Tangela as primary redirector here, but I think it's okay. And I would really like to see a Weezing or Coughing pick at some point, preferably a Weezing pick.
If that doesn't happen, he just trades away Gigas.
Yeah, true.
Like that's like there's really no downside to it. You just trade it away. So.
And kind of like with Lucian's team, there's some draft resources left here to work with. So I mean, you could definitely afford a Weezing if you wanted. He's got a
lot of bulk and a lot of power.
Yeah, and a pretty
also equates to not a lot of speed.
Well, that's not even true either, because Latios is like one of the Latios does have Tailwind, and it is like one of the faster mons in the format. So, I mean, I wouldn't even say this team is particularly slow because it does have a good Tailwind setter. So, my biggest concern is just like no Trick Room setter. And I mean, I know you have Avalugg as a Trick Room sweeper, and it's okay at that role. But it just really feels like, you know, maybe getting a Trick Room sweeper would help kind of change the dynamic of this team a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And then Blastoise was an excellent first pick. I think G-Max Cannonade is so powerful and so strong.
Yeah, it's good.
So, and then if you can weaken things, then your Blacephalon can go to town and can close out games from that. So, yeah, he's just got to worry about getting outpaced by somebody else's speed control.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, if he gets a Weezing, we all know what Weezing Gigas can do.
Right.
And
very strong stuff.
Now, the Blastoise, Latias, Blacephalon, Tangela. Yeah, he's got a solid squad that he has prepared.
Yeah. My big concern is that if he doesn't get Weezing, then his team leans a little bit special. But yeah, I mean that's one pick away from just being like instantly solved. So
yeah, very good from JP so far.
Indeed.
All right. Where are you, Scuba Squirtles? So he decided to take 2 priority Tailwind Mons.
Interesting choice. He heard what we said, right? We said, don't make Tornadus the only Dynamax threat of your team. And he said, oh, I hear that. And I raise you 1 secondary Tailwind setter.
I guess he's the only
So
one
that
who
Tornadus...
he wants to be the only person other than Lucian with priority Tailwind.
Yeah, well, he's got it so far. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little
threat, don't you?
I'm a little perplexed, you know. I think that Sylveon can theoretically be a Dynamax threat, you know, base 150 pixelate max strike or max fairies are no joke. I'm just a little confused about the Trick Room stuff going on. You know, Slowbro and Jelly are good Trick Room setters, and Mienjiao is a good Pokemon. But yeah, this team it perplexes me a little bit. That's all.
I'm very confused looking at it. Like, it wants to be really fast on one end, but then it wants to be really slow. So maybe he gets a bunch of mid-speed tier mons that can do both.
That wouldn't feel that good to me personally.
Yeah, because then you're kind of forced one way or another a lot of the time.
Right. So I mean, yeah, it's an interesting concept that Niels has cooking up, but Sylveon does play well in both speeds. I'll give you that, but otherwise, like, that's the only thing that's really tying the team together, and that just doesn't feel super great. No. Again, I love Tornadus. Please give Tornadus Dynamax threats. God, I want nothing more. No such luck this time, Solanor. No such luck.
Well, hey, he's got at least another C tier. Wait, no, he can't get another C. He's 3B.
Another B tier, I believe.
Can he get BB?
He already has 3 Bs, so you think he can go another B.
Oh, if he can go 4 Bs, then he can solve that with an extra B tier.
Agree.
Huh.
Big fan of tying teams together with Sylveon. Funny.
Yeah, let's see what the B tier fixes. I think that's where he has to go.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this team because everything is just like so clear as to what it's doing so far. And it's interesting, and I just want to see it tied together somehow. So that's about all I have to say about it so far. It could be very good, I think.
Well, let's talk about a team that I think we know is going to be very good. The Hamilton Thundercats and Sir Quinn the Dentist.
The Chad Dentist, if you would.
Vehicle and Cresselia.
Yeah. That's a little problematic.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I don't have a lot to say here. I think that good speed in the form of Weavile. Weavile is real fucking fast. And then, like, obviously the Venucole stuff is really good. Torcat's great for Intimidate. And I guess now that there's Sun on the team, it actually doesn't really have to be a fire type because Torkoal turns it into a real fire type. So, with the help of the Sun. Yeah, instead of a fake one, exactly.
All he needs is another, like, clear Trick Room threat, and then he becomes monstrous.
I agree. I think that Diggersby is one of those awkward fits where it does work under Trick Room decently well, but it is like an imperfect Trick Room mon. I think that another good Trick Room sweeper, a slow, strong Trick Room sweeper, would be a good pickup for this squad. Otherwise, it's just like very well built.
Yeah, he's got the bulk, he's got the damage output, and G-Max move again.
Yep.
Can't go wrong with G-Max.
It's broken, that's for sure.
But yeah, very, very cool so far. 2 forms of Fake Out, Icy Wind, and Trick Room. He also has Sun, of course, which is speed control in itself. It's funny how Cresselia is faster than Venusaur. I find that hilarious.
Yeah, Cresselia is an interesting pick for a Trick Room setter. It's incredibly bulky and has good item versatility because of its just natural bulk. But I mean, you have to trade that off somehow, and the trade-off is that it isn't very strong and it feels a little bit passive sometimes. But I think on a team like this, where there's just like so much fucking damage happening already with the other mons, Venusaur's passive damage, Torkoal's eruption under Trick Rooms, which Cresselia can helping hand to support that. I think that Cresselia is like fine, and especially with the sun, those moonlights are going to be very,
You're
very
gonna heal a
dangerous.
lot,
Yeah.
and you're already pretty
So
bulky. So
exactly. So yeah, I think that a water type would be very good defensively here, and um, I think that maybe finding, yeah, like you said, another good Trick Room sweeper, and maybe even another setter as well, could be beneficial to this team too.
yeah, unfortunately, the water types and quality setters are drying up. So
Funny pun.
I'm proud of that one. All right.
Yeah, good team though.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Panda now. So he had a really strong start with the Moltres and the Raichu. And I have a lot of questions about everything else. Like, Latias is a solid mon on its own. Azumarill is solid on its own. I'm very confused by Gourgeist. I don't know why. It's just really weird to me. And then Magmortar. I guess he wanted a Fire, Water, Grass core, and he got it.
Yeah. So when I look at this team, I see a lot of Panda's comfort picks. Honestly, like Azumarill is a mon that he really likes. Magmortar is a mon that he likes, and Latios is basically just Latios, and Latios is a mon that he really likes. Latios gives him like a good Tailwind setter, which is always very helpful. Moltres typically likes having that at some point. And then Azumarill is interesting. It plays a little bit different in Dynamax formats. It's not as easy to get Belly Drum set up with it and just like have it be super good. But huge power with Dynamax moves is kind of nice. And I think that a lot of people sleep on Gourgeist. Actually, I think that Gourgeist is one of the most versatile mons because you get to just change its stats based off of the week, based off of like what you need. Like, you want fast Gourgeist, you got fast Gourgeist. You want slow Trick Room setting Gourgeist, you got slow Trick Room setting Gourgeist. I mean, one of the funny synergies with this team is that fast Gourgeist with Trick or Treat pairs very nicely with Moltres Galar, because it gives Moltres Galar that super effective. It can make anything into a super effective hit for Moltres. So I think that's a really fun synergy.
I didn't actually notice that. That's pretty cute.
Yeah, it's definitely cute. It's definitely something you have to keep your eye out on. And I don't love Magmortar. I hate Magmortar in Dynamax formats because of how small he is when he Dynamaxes. But otherwise, he's strong. The thing I'm not loving about this team is like Azumarill is technically a physical attacker, but I would like to see another good physical attacker added to this team, and maybe just like a little bit more support.
Wait a minute. Are you shaming physical Magmortar?
No, I just don't think it's very consistent. And this team definitely needs something that's a little consistent.
Yeah, consistent physical damage output. Because Azumarill, while it does have huge power, it's not like its Diggersby has like I think 7, or I guess Diggersby only has 56 for its attack stat. Azumarill has 50, which is a lot lower. But when you're doubling it, it's a lot more noticeable.
And Diggersby just gets better coverage and has better speed as well.
Yeah.
Like Azumarill's stabs are fantastic, but Diggersby gets pretty much every coverage you need out of it, and it also is faster. And Azumarill, you just need a fast physical attacker to complement this team, I think. But otherwise, it's like well built, and there's a lot of comfort picks. And you and I both know there's a lot of power that comes out of picking things that you enjoy using.
Like you know how to use them.
Exactly. So, yeah, I said it needs more support. I realistically think it just needs more utility, maybe another fake out.
More punchy.
Yeah, exactly. So, Yeah, another well-built team by Panda. So far, pretty good. Um,
Yeah. We have one more team to talk about,
yep.
and it's the New Orleans Ninetales from Tiger VGC. And now we see a Hail Core added to this squad. We originally saw the Gastrodon. Gastrodon Incineroar was the first wheel. Then it was Corviknight and Naganadel, and then Ninetales, Alola, and Arctozolt.
Yeah, so I mean, I see a lot of, it's what it's what wheel picks do. It's the 1-2 punches.
Mm-hmm.
Incineroar and Gastrodon are fantastic together um, in terms of defensive synergy. Very good defensive potential there. Naganadel is an incredibly dangerous Dynamax threat on this team. Good coverage, good damage, decent item versatility. And Corviknight gets Tailwind. I think Corviknight is pretty bad in max formats, but I really love the Hail mode. The Hail mode was something I was actually looking at there for a second, but ultimately decided against. I'm glad someone picked it. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, Tiger ended up picking um, the logo Pokemon of their team, so I think that's pretty cool.
Cool
I
people
like it
pick
when,
their mascots.
yeah, I'm a big fan of that. And yeah, I think that Arctozolt isn't. It's the best Slush Rushmon by 1,000 yards, but
That's not saying
as a
much.
as a Pokemon, it's like a little bit mid, so I'm a little concerned about that. Realistically, I think Hail and Dynamax formats gets its value from being able to set up Aurora Veil,
Mm-hmm.
and to break focus sashes. So yeah, I think that this is a good team. I'm a little bit concerned about its firepower, but
Max
otherwise,
Incineroar.
I mean, yeah, like
Give it to me.
the fact that Max Incineroar is looking like the second best Dynamax option on this team has me a little concerned. But
Yeah, a lot of the free points have already been. They can pick another B. I think they can go double B.
yeah,
So.
they can pick another B. So
Uh,
if they want,
mm-hmm. And I think they've done a great job with that wheel pick. This team has a lot of solid pieces. I think it's missing one piece of maybe if you want to set your own trick room. But your fast
mm,
mode is great. You have an immediate Dynamax threat in Naganadel. And you have Hail, which is also immediate. And you counter the grass weakness Gastrodon has with all of your other Pokemon.
yeah, every
Which
single
helps a
other
lot
mon
for
deals
Gastrodon.
with
So,
Gas type.
yeah, I
So
like
yeah,
this a lot.
super good.
It
Yeah,
is good.
super good. Very fun team. Yeah, honestly. And I think that that's the last pick. So
That
yeah, because it's the
is.
wheel pick. So honestly, yeah, lots of very cool looking teams being built here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any personal favorites that stand out to me. I really like this wheel pick team here, but
Mm-hmm.
um, besides that, my memory is not quite good enough to.
You just remember your team. That's all you
Yeah,
remember.
all I can really remember is my team and your team. So, um, but yeah, I think that we have a lot of like good options here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be really exciting to see how the rest of these teams play out. I'm actually curious to see if any of the other if there were any more picks as well while we were currently
Let us
making this
take a look.
stream,
Um,
which yeah, I actually believe there
yes, there
were
was.
significant amount of picks
So
actually.
Nightfront added Rhyperior, or not Rhyperior, I can't. Gigalith. Slick Ninja added Gardevoir. Prince added Rhyperior. Junebug added Klinklang.
Interesting batch of picks.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting picks. I knew about my brother's pick, obviously, but curious to see
hmm
Klinklang as a mon. That's something that we don't typically see ever.
I think that Panda in one match in the PDCL showed that um, Klinklang is actually a real mon that deserves some real respect.
Hmm.
Honestly,
Didn't he say after that he didn't do enough damage or something, or like gear grind sucked?
because Gear Grind missed.
That's unlucky.
So
All right, well, that's gonna
yeah,
close out our mid-draft analysis. We will be back again for the final one, and we do have a special third guest, which I will not reveal. I'll tell my co-host afterwards who it is, but yes. So we have the teams. We have 4-ish rounds to go. We're finishing up round 6. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting really close. And yeah, be sure to check out. We have a couple more coach interviews that we're going to be releasing as well. There should be 3 left, Lilacs, and then 2 other coach interviews for the Cherish division. So look forward to those. Should be having those released here within the next day. So yeah, get excited. This is like really actually starting here very soon.
We're getting close. We're almost there to hit the button to randomize the schedule.
Yep, looking forward to it.
All right, without further ado, my name's Spades, my co-host Solinar, and we are out from YouTube.